Welcome to DS320, Analytics on Cassandra with Apache Spark. I'm Tim Berglund, and I'm going to be walking you through how to use Spark, what it is, and how to use it in conjunction with a DataStax Enterprise cluster. Now we're going to get started with a quick look at Spark itself, the basics of its API in Scala, and to do that, we're going to use the word count example. Now, I know you've seen the word count example in distributed computing demos before. You can see here on the slide a word cloud of tags. These are all tags applied to videos in this fictional video hosting business called Killer Video. These are tags that are sized according to how frequently they're applied to videos in the data set. Let's look at how we might compute this in Spark. Now, the word count algorithm relies on 4 simple steps. All right, first, we have to load data into Spark from some external data source. Key principle. That could be a file, that could be a Cassandra table. We could even make a literal list at the Scala REPL and create a data set that way. After we've loaded the data, we need to parse the records, in this case, these tags, into words that can be counted, and then we need to count those words. Finally, we're going to push that result into an external system, or maybe just output it to the screen. So bring data in, parse it, count the words, spit the data out. Those basically are our 4 steps. Now we've got a CSV file lying around for demo purposes that has these tags in them that we want to count. We're going to load it with the text file method because it's a text file, and that makes sense. But what are we calling that text file method on? You'll note that that variable there called SC. SC stands for Spark Context, and that's always available in the Spark shell. The Spark shell is a fancy version of the Scala REPL, so if you know Scala, you're perfectly at home here. If you don't know Scala, don't worry. We're going to give you what you need step by step to learn how to do this, but a little bit of Scala knowledge goes a long way for learning Spark through these videos, and frankly, broadly speaking, most of the examples in the Spark world tend to be Scala or Python, but Scala really seems to be sort of the native language, which is why we've picked it. So we're going to call text file there on the SC object, and that is going to return an object, that records object, which is an object of the resilient distributed dataset type. It's called an RDD. All right, so for now, just think of that as a big collection of records. We're going to dive much deeper into what RDDs are in a little bit, but we've loaded that text file in, we've got this RDD, and there we are. Now, each record in that RDD, in that dataset, becomes a string. So it really is like we've just read the lines in, and the RDD is this collection of strings that we've read in. Next, we're going to parse those lines. We're going to take the records in that RDD and operate on each record. We're calling the flat map method. We're going to dive deeper into what flat map means later, but for now, you can think of flat map as a thing that creates a collection. It'll take some data item in, and it'll output a collection of data items. So it's taking something and breaking it into pieces and spitting those pieces out into the RDD it returns. And flat map takes an anonymous function as a parameter. Some people call them closures, some people call them code blocks, but that's an anonymous function. The body of that function gets applied to every element in the input RDD. That input RDD, remember, is our CSV file that we read in, and we apply that function to every line in that file. The return value of that function becomes a new record or set of records in the output RDD. So what do we do inside that anonymous function? If you look in there, you'll see we split the text. We treat that line of text as a line of text. We split it based on the comma delimiter. So that's going to create a collection of strings from that one string. And notice what we're doing here. We started creating an RDD from a text file, then we called a transformation on that RDD to change it a little bit. We actually didn't really change that first RDD, we returned a new one, and that's a key principle. We're going to do that again by calling the map transformation on the words RDD. Now the map transformation, again, lets us have a little bit of flexibility in what we're going to do. We get to write some code that's going to operate on every element or every record in the RDD we're transforming. If you look at the code, you'll see what we do is we take each word, we're expecting each record in this RDD to be a word now, we take each one of them and transform it into what Scala calls a tuple. That expression in parentheses there is a tuple. We're basically pairing the word with the number 1. And if you've seen word count examples before, you've seen this game played where we tokenize words and we create a key value pair out of each word where we're pairing the word with the number 1. This is basically step 1 in counting words. Functionally speaking, we're looking at every word that we've identified, and we say, I've counted this word 1 time. Now that expression, that words.map, and then the code block in there, mapping the words RDD onto this new RDD, that's word tuples, we're going to reduce that. We're going to call reduce by key. What that's going to do is it's going to gather up all of the records in this RDD that have the same key, and then apply some reducing operation to each one of them. If you look at the slide, that reducing operation is simply adding 2 numbers together. That expression case x, y, the arrow x plus y, that's just saying, hey, go look for 2 numbers, maybe a 1 and a 1, and add those 2 numbers together and return them. And it's going to repeatedly apply that to the records in the RDD. And if you look at the flow diagram, reduce by key sort of collects up all of the common tags or the common keys and adds their counts together. So we end up with a count of words. And if you want to look at that all in one place, that's what the code looks like. And this is pretty typical of the Scala Spark API. It's a fluent interface, so you can end up with fairly readable code that really efficiently expresses the sequence of transformations and actions that you're going to perform on your data, even as you read it in and then spit it back out to some output source. So with that, a quick lightning start, getting your hands dirty on some Spark code, and I hope that gives you an idea of a few concepts. Now next, we're going to drill down into the data model a little bit. We're going to look at what an RDD really is and how we can use them.